Been too long. We love talking to Megyn Kelly, our mate in the United States, and she's all female, the OG, the real thing, sun's out, guns out. It's summer in the US, and summer never looks as good as Megyn Kelly. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Always here just to pump your tyres, mate. We'll talk about news, but, I'll do my best here. So, tomorrow in the United States, our time, we're going to have the first Republican debate. But the reality is that everyone on the stage is playing for second. None of them have a chance of beating Trump, and Trump is going to sit it out. You, of course, famously 8 years ago were there with his first debate performance that really sort of rocketed him as the one who was going to throw spanners in the works. So what does a Trumpless debate mean when the polls are so definite that he's leading?
Well, it's going to go back to the debates. I mean, I've anchored 5 of these things, and, I've done them without Trump in the preceding cycles, and they're always exciting somewhat. It's exciting just to see him up there and be able to ask them questions, and especially if they start sparring with one another. So I think that we will find some satisfaction in the exchanges that happen, and it'll feel like 2012. And that was fine. We used to look forward to debates then. We generally weren't getting 25 million people watching them, which is what Trump delivered. And I think probably they won't have those numbers, although one never knows because Trump's still in the race and they'll be talking about Trump a lot. But it won't be anything like what it would have been had he shown up. And I do think that Trump may indeed start showing up at these. What he has said so far, and on his Truth Social post, he said, I'm not going to do the debates. But then NBC followed up with him and reported that someone on his team clarified he means the first 2. And that was pretty clear. He's been saying, I'm not going to do the Fox News debate or the Fox Business debate. I don't think they've earned it. But I think it's partly that. And it's also that it's early enough in the cycle that things could change if somebody landed a big blow on him on the stage. And he'd like to avoid that. And if he waits until the 3rd or the 4th debate to show up, now we're in November. Now we're, 6 weeks away from the first vote. And maybe they could chip away at his 46 percentage point lead, but it's not going to go so far from November to the beginning of January that he's going to lose, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and so on. So I think that's my guess on what his calculation is.
Joe Biden took an awfully long time to recognise what's been happening in Hawaii. Then when eventually he shows up, he slurs his words, he falls asleep. But it's another little insight into the fact that this guy is just all machine, all politics, and all of the emoting, including when he invokes his own house fire, which I think authorities referred to as not significant. This guy we know is a fake, but also we know that he's pretty shallow when it comes to his own emotions here.
Lightning struck at home on a little lake that's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat.
I cannot believe what I have seen him do in and around Maui over the past 2 weeks. It is so telling. It's further confirmation of something we already knew, but man alive, is it confirmation. So our sitting president has been on vacation pretty much every other week. And his real job is a vacation too, because he only works about 4 hours a day, according to the White House aides. He's on duty from 10 to 4, and then Matlock's on and he's got to run. So he takes a vacation from all the tapioca pudding, and he goes to Rehoboth Beach, which is a beautiful beach in Delaware. He's hanging out there when Maui happens. Somebody happens to get him with his shirt off, and they say, Mr. President, you have a comment on the number of people dead. I mean, there are 115 people dead. They believe there's going to be scores of children who are dead in this thing, Paul. They're still missing almost 1,000. And he says, no comment. No comment. Like he's George Clooney walking out of the Oscars. You're not George Clooney. You're the president. One word. I don't care. You're on the beach. You say, God, my God, it's terrible. My heart goes out to them. My wife's heart goes out too. We'll be making a statement on it soon. I've got my people on it, right? Something to show some heart. He gets asked to follow up another day. Similar response. Won't say anything. Would you want to say anything about the people in Maui? No. Okay. Then he gets shamed on his second back-to-back vacation. He goes from the beaches of Delaware to Lake Tahoe, one of the most beautiful and pristine places in the United States. It's on the border of Nevada and California. And he's staying at a billionaire's house out there, big Democrat billionaire. He gets asked there, how about doing something for the people of Maui? Finally, he gets shamed into visiting Maui. He goes to Maui, not once, but twice. He makes his public remarks about himself, referring to how he knows what it's like. I'm saying 1,000 people could be dead here. You've got children dead from fire. And he says, I know what it's like. Our house almost burned down. My wife almost died. We pulled up the Associated Press report from 2004, said it was insignificant, said no one was in any danger, said it was a kitchen fire, which they got out on almost immediately. And then President Biden has the nerve to say, almost lost my Corvette. No one gives a damn about your car. No one. Stop trying to compare your minor kitchen fire to this, the worst wildfire we've had in American history. But he doesn't have it. He doesn't have that heart thing that tells you, stop, for the love of God, stop.